Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today we're going to try and fix this LG TV. It all works fine apart from the HDMIs. It doesn't register it at all. So if I was to go to input, and it does show that there is something connected in HDMI 1, but if I go to it, it does the initial handshake, but then it just says not connecting. So it's got it up there, it says connecting, and then it says no signal. And if I was to swap this to the other HDMI port, this TV has 3 ports. If I was to put it into number 2, and again go to input, it will show HDMI 2 lit up, but again the same thing, it does the handshake, but then it just fails. No signal. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've seen that you can actually take the board out, and some people put it in the oven, they heat it up for 10 minutes, and I presume what this does is it melts the solder if there's a bad solder joint somewhere. Now I don't want to put it in the oven because it stinks the house out, because the videos that I've seen there's smoke flying everywhere, and it's intermittent whether it works or not, so I think it's probably not going to work. But what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and take it outside, and I'm going to take the board out, and I'm going to do it with a hot air gun, just to see if it works, because at the moment the TV is no good to me, because without the HDMIs I can't really do anything with it apart from just use it as a, you know, for the normal over-the-air TV program. So I'm going to do the hot air gun and see what happens. So I'll come back later in the video. Okay, so I've just taken all the screws off around the outside, not forgetting that there's a little one here and these 2 here as well, but they're just all the ones around the outside, just with a normal Phillips crosshead screwdriver. Okay, so I've taken it back off the TV, and it's this board here that's faulty with the HDMIs on. Now I've looked into these, and they're about, believe it or not, they're about £80 to buy a new one. Well, I don't know if it's a new one, but the ones on eBay seem to be about £80. So I'm going to. It's not worth spending that amount on this TV, because the TV itself must be around nearly 10 years old now, I'd say. So I'm not gonna spend any money on it. But I am gonna take this board off and then put the heat gun on it for a while, heat it all up. If it breaks, it doesn't really matter, because the TV's only scrap now anyway. This particular one here, you need to squeeze and lift up. These ones down here, you just lift that clip up here and they pull out that way, so that just clips in. Clips in there, so you just lift up the clip and ease that one out. Again, same with this one here, there's just a little clip there that you just lift up and gently ease out. This one here looks a little bit more complicated, but all you do with this one is just flick up this little black plastic like so. You see that flicks up, goes up and down, flick it up, and then the ribbon will just pull out. Okay, so now I'll be able to find where this is screwed down. So it looks like there's one here and here, here and here, and then that should free the board up. Now I'm just going to take off this little side bit here. Okay, that's the board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a good look all over it, just to see if I can see anything obvious, see if I can see anything that's burnt out, any capacitors or anything that look like they're bulging. And if I can't see anything obvious, then I'm going to heat it up and see if it does anything. Okay, I'm just going to heat it up gently now, just going over it. I might try it a few times because I don't know how hot it's going to be. I know on other videos people seem to put it in the oven for about 10 minutes. So I'm just going to go over it, plug it in, see if I get anything, maybe bring it out, heat it up again, because I don't want to go crazy with it, because if I leave it on too long, everything looks like it's just going to melt. This chip here seems to be the chip that controls the HDMIs, because they all link back. I've followed the tracks and they all link back to here. So I'm just going to apply a bit of heat to here, give it a little go all over and see what happens. Okay, so that's heated up quite nicely. Now I'm going to turn it over, do the same on the other side. I can feel the heat from it. Right, that's warmed it up all over. So I'm just going to leave that go cool now, plug it back in, see if we have anything. I'm sure it's not going to work, but you never know. And if it doesn't work, I'll come out and I'll give it another heat up. Okay, I've temporarily put it back together just to see if it was working, because I was sure I was going to have to take the board off and do it again and again. But I've got the HDMI in. I'm not sure the top one, I'm not sure if that's 1 or 2. And got it all back in, and believe it or not, I really didn't think it would work, but it is working. This is via the HDMI. This is the Virgin Media remote control. I have to do it up there because that's where it is. Okay, and that is on the HDMI. So if I go to input on here, input, and go back to TV aerial like I did earlier. Okay, so that's BBC One, and if I go to input and go to HDMI 2, earlier on it did the handshake, but now it's actually going through. I cannot believe that works. When I seen that I thought, oh okay, they just got lucky, but I heated it up for, I didn't even heat it that much. I mean, it was hot to touch, but I didn't have to heat it that much, and yeah, whatever it's done, it's worked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the TV fully back together now, just check the other HDMIs just to make sure that the other ones are working. It might be just HDMI 2 that's working. Okay, so it's all back together. I've got it in HDMI 1 down there. Let's try it in all the ports. So turn it on. Right, so I go to input, go up to HDMI 1, there we go. Right, so HDMI 1 is working. Let's put it into number 2. Let's go to input 2. Okay, so that's working, and the last one is HDMI 3, just here, which is over here. Go to input, up to HDMI 3. There we go, so all the HDMI ports are working. Just make sure the aerial's working. Yeah, there we go. So it's all working again.